Hello, today we're going to make some fun, easy cards from products in the Sale-a-Bration brochure. We will be using the Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper, especially those cute little rainbows, and also the Simply Marbleous Designer Series paper, along with Peach, the Happy Birthday stamp, and we'll be using the Scalloped Contour Dies. Here's what the cards will look like, and then we'll get started. One in Bermuda Bay, one in Blushing Bride, and one in Bumblebee. Aren't they cute? Using the rainbow and those 4 colors of inks, they're going to look gorgeous. Okay, card base, which I have already cut. It is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Then you'll have a piece of the Simply Marbleous paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4. Then you'll have another piece of Blushing Bride that is 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. Then we'll have a slightly larger piece that we will use the Scalloped Contour Dies on. And then we've got the rainbow that we will fussy cut out. Get it in the camera a little bit. There we go. And we're going to need these 3 plates. The number 1 plate, the clear bottom plate that the paper will go on. Had a little minor technical difficulty. On we go. This will go right through the machine. And I know why it didn't cut the first time. It's because I had the die straight onto the bearings, and that doesn't work so well. So out the other side it comes. There we go. There we go. So let me remove that. Out comes our beautifully cut, scalloped, basic white paper. Oops, and I'll set those aside. 4 colors of ink: Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, Bumblebee, and Magenta Madness. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up because I'm going to do all 3 tags at once for the 3 different color cards I'm making. So it'll be easier to keep them clean and not too messy here. So what I found when I made my first practice run of cards was that it was better if I started at the top corner of the rectangle with the Magenta Madness and then worked my way down, because then it was easier to see how I lined things up. So here we go. Oh, better get those 2 other scallops I need right here. There we go. There we go. So going to stamp the top, hold in place, 1, 2, 3, up it comes. Next, re-ink. One, 2, 3, re-ink. One, 2, 3. Okay, I have put my Shammy in a plastic baggie, and I can just stick my block in there, clean it real quick, bring it right back out, and I don't get all soggy, wet hands or anything. It's really wonderful. Okay, moving on to the Bumblebee. Here we go. Try to line it up straight as you can. 1, 2, 3. Next. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Okay. Next comes Granny Apple Green. And it looks kind of funky on the stamp, but it really is Granny Apple Green. 1, 2, 3. Okay, next. Now the reason I didn't use the Stamparatus was it is too tightly stamped below each other. The Stamparatus wouldn't move that way that easily. So I chose to not use it, just go by eyeballing it. Clean my stamp one last time. And here comes the Bermuda Bay. And I try to split the difference in the space. So it looks like I've tried to line it up. Pretty good there. Not bad. Done's better than perfect, right? A friend of mine always says that. I try to be perfect though, but it's hard sometimes. Starting with our Blushing Bride card. I just have some tape runner that I'm going to use. Now the back side of this simply Marbleous paper is a little too wild for me, so I chose the calmer side. There we go. Now the scalloped piece is going to go on, but it will be raised up with dimensionals after I fussy cut the rainbow, like so. And I actually have 2 rainbows already fussy cut, but I'm going to do one more. Using my paper snips, what I have found is it's really good to hold the scissors still and just turn the paper so you can see where you're cutting as best as you can. And it's not a fast process if you want a quality cut. But I thought this rainbow was so doggone cute that I just could not resist using it in the card. And it gives you such an encouraging sign of spring. March soon will be arriving with lots of rain and rainbows. So what I did was I played with my rainbow, deciding if I wanted to have it be straight on the card, or if I wanted to angle the tag and keep the rainbow straight, or if I wanted to angle everything. So since it was hard to make a decision, I decided to do one of each. Now I am going to use one product that is not a Stampin' Up product, but it is my absolute favorite glue. It's called Art Glitter Glue. And you can tell I've used it a lot because the label's all wrinkled, but it comes out pretty quick. Dries clear. You do have to keep the pin that comes with it in the tip so it doesn't dry out. So I'm going to go with this one being all diagonal, right like so. Press that down just a bit. Then will come my dimensionals. And I ended up putting probably more than I really needed to, but I kind of like to make sure everything's going to stick down well. So I'm going to put several here. One in each corner, one in the middle. And sometimes I even take the outer rim, because you don't want to waste any dimensionals, and use it for some interesting little spots. So I think I've got enough dimensionals there. So we will put it on in just a second here. And this one's going to go all diagonal. Just trying to have it fit inside the Designer Series paper. Now, I'm using the Bumblebee Gingham ribbon, 1/4 inch wide. And if you don't know how to tie a bow, my secret is keep the ribbon flat keep it flat. So do not twist it when you're pushing it through the opening here. There we go. Now, the thing I love about keeping the ribbon flat is you can adjust it before you pull tight on the knot and get it just the size you want it. And then I have, again, a non-Stampin' Up! Pair of scissors that I find I like for trimming my diagonal edges on my bows. I think it's a Fiskars brand. But then I take your pick tool. I have re-rolled the roll of glue dots because Stampin' Up! Somehow started getting them in reverse order, which threw all of us demonstrators for a loop, but all you gotta do is re-roll them. Then last but not least comes these beautiful brushed brass butterflies, and I added 2 up in the top here. So give them a little energy, a little movement, so they're not going exactly the same way. Isn't that cute? Now, on the inside of the card, I have a piece of basic white that's again the same size as the front DSP, 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to put a little strip of 3/4 by 4 inches on my inner card layer, so that way you'll be all set to write a personal message to whoever you give the card to. Then just a couple pieces of tape runner. That's all I usually put on the inside, not as much as I use for the cover. And in she goes with as even margin as you can manage. There we go, pretty good. Okay, and then of course, don't forget, last but not least, you definitely want to put your name stamp on the back of your cards. And I was having fun with the different colors of the rainbow, and so I stamped my name in Magenta Madness. Thought it was kind of fun. Last but not least is I always like to have some designer series paper on the envelope flap. Now, I cut a piece of designer series paper 2 3/8 by 6 inches long. The designer series paper goes on the exterior flap, and I use my tape runner. I go across as close as I can to the fold of the flap. I go around the edges and one diagonal, like so. Then I go ahead and close the envelope, put my fingernails right on the edge so that I can line up the top of the paper with the fold precisely. And I just take my paper snips that are now once again hiding from me, there they are, and carefully go around the outer edge of the flap. And trim off the excess. So then you have a beautiful match set and blushing bride of your card and envelope. Pretty lovely, huh? Well, in just a second, I finished those other 2 cards, and so we have the finished set of 3. Anyway, thanks for watching, and feel free to visit my blog at evadietz.com. Have a great day.